Ants! Ants!
Ant-Man!
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode, activated.
Hey, who's hosting this? Hey, everybody.
We both are.
We're doing a spoiler mode for Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yep.
It was fine.
I liked it.
All right, see ya. Yeah.
Quantumania, Phase 5 begins.
5. Well, Phase 5 begins again. Because, did Loki start Phase 5?
No, this is Phase 5.
Did Doctor Strange start Phase 5?
Those are Phase 4.
Okay, but Loki introduced Kang, who's the big bad of 5.
Of course.
A version
of
we'll get
Richards.
Into it.
Yes.
But, yeah.
But Phase 5 begins. Because Phase 4 was rough, Isla. And, we're going to talk about this movie. We're going to talk about, we're going to spoiler mode it.
Spoilers.
But, it's hard to talk
Be
about.
warned.
It's hard to talk about one singular MCU movie
without
bringing up.
There aren't singular
Exactly.
MCU movies anymore.
Exactly.
They're literally all episodes of one. They're just 2-hour chunks of one big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going into Phase 5, though, Marvel's never really been in this position yet with the MCU where, because it started slow with Phase 1. It wasn't as popular.
Yeah.
There's been, these huge moments. Obviously, Avengers 1 was massive, the Avengers movies, and, but then, Infinity War Endgame took it to, global levels of hype, I feel like, for the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And then Phase 4, though, universally everyone's kind of getting skeptical about it. So going into Ant-Man Quantumania, a huge character in this MCU, Paul Rudd's Ant-Man, and then obviously the new villain, Kang, a lot of expectations, a lot of high stakes here.
Well, and they have, the unenviable task of, reassuring viewers that they're gonna do, this movie feels like if Iron Man was saying, hey, don't worry, we're gonna do Endgame. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But, if we somehow knew, because now we know about Infinity War and Endgame. We know that that's, an end goal.
Yeah.
End of Phase 3 or whatever was, huge. And it felt like the end of everything. It felt like the end game. And so now with Kang, it's kind of a funny thing, and especially because Phase 4 was so nothing.
Kind of all over the place. Yeah.
Kind of just scattershot and bland. Anime filler arc, I've heard it described as, which I think feels very good. They're trying to say, hey, we're building to something. We're building to this guy. It's going to be as impactful as Thanos. It's going to be as impactful as those. And it's kind of funny because instead of building it up brick by brick with these standalone, more or less satisfying movies, they're so worried they're going to lose us, I feel like, that they're focusing already on the end.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know, it's just sort of robbing it of something. Because this wasn't an Ant-Man movie, I didn't feel.
Yeah.
It was a Kang movie. I don't know. It felt like an episode of a Disney Plus show because of so much volume.
Really disappointed with Wasp's entire character. There was just nothing, on the title of the movie.
And
Ant-Man and the Wasp,
right.
and it's she's nothing.
Right. And and it wasn't overly funny. His friends were just kind of gone.
I liked how serious the movie started.
The heist wasn't a heist.
I liked the lack of music for a lot of this movie early on. The first 30, 40 minutes were just character stuff. Them sitting around talking in silence. I was like, dude, this is a cool tone for this. Let's get in. This is what I want. Are these long conversations about, what you've been through, what you're going through. When they're sitting around at the dinner table as a family, or they're eating lunch or something. I really liked the beginning of the movie before they go to the quantum realm.
I liked when Scott dealing with a little bit of post-traumatic stress probably, but also just being I saved the world. Nothing. I saved the universe. And and him just being kind of and everyone else being all right, but what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
He's kind of what?
Yeah.
I saved the universe. I can chill for the rest of my life.
Totally.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah. I hate to bring it up, some Naruto comparisons here because of his relationship.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
I gotta bring up Naruto.
Yeah.
And Boruto specifically, actually.
Of course, yeah.
Because
we all knew that's what you meant.
because of his relationship with his daughter. He saves the universe, but like he's been absent from her life for so long. Obviously there's the snap and everything, but like the strain on the relationship because of his responsibility there.
I thought you were talking about Boruto. I'm like, he has a daughter?
Well, because in Boruto, Naruto has a son and daughter.
Yeah.
And his responsibility is to the village.
Right, yeah.
So his kids are always like, dude, I want to hang out with dad, but we can't because of his. So I was getting that vibe of like.
Huge parallels,
Yeah, he's like saving the universe, but like his daughter just wants to spend time with him.
Right.
So I liked all that stuff.
One of the biggest things that annoyed me in this movie was Janet Van Dyne. Janet? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not saying anything. Like, it's such an annoying trope.
I thought of you in the theater.
It's so irritating.
I was in the theater. I saw this just like opening night, really chill. No one there. It was nice.
Communicate.
Literally, Isla's voice in my head said, just talk to each other.
Yeah. Like, it's just bad writing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, any situation that could be solved by characters just actually like having a conversation and having good communication skills.
Yeah.
Like, unless, like, if they had leaned more into Janet has lived alone and barely spoken to anyone for 30 years and like doesn't speak well or share, like, cool, great. There's a reason. But this reason is just a shockingly normal woman for having spent a lifetime in this crazy zone.
Yeah.
Just refusing to give them any actual information.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
And like
the shame, maybe. The shame or something. Like she felt responsible for helping him.
Maybe.
And
but like,
she was with random Bill Murray's character. So just like the shame, like I get that, not wanting to talk about it, but I still felt like, yo, when Kang comes onto the scene, like now's the time.
Or when you're flying to confront him or like find your son-in-law and his daughter, like and you're just in like the irritating thing about it was like they're just walking for miles. They're riding on a manta ray for miles. They're in a ship for miles.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Just sitting in silence?
Yeah.
You could be explaining this entire time.
Seriously.
Oh.
You know what I loved? One of the best bits.
I'm upset.
One of the best bits was the like the ship controls for Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, he's like all freaked out by it. Very end of the movie,
he's just like
boom. Let's go. That was sick.
I like that. Yeah. He does nothing in this movie, but he's charming and funny as always.
I love
and like
him. He's a delight.
I really appreciate him. And like
having those legends on screen, like Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Douglas. It's yo,
and their
presence.
They're so capable. Like most of the acting in this movie, I thought, of the main. Whatever, the daughter, whatever. And I still think I'm back and forth on Jonathan Majors.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. How dare you?
It's so weird because
best.
I think we were talking about this.
I'm obsessed.
Because to me, there's like a disconnect, a cognitive dissonance, as it were. Because between his performance and what the story is showing me and what the movie is showing me. Because he's playing it, and in Loki as well, which I rewatched Loki before this,
Same.
And I rewatched that scene, the whole episode, with Jonathan Majors in it, and like I liked it better the second time. I appreciated it more.
I rewatched all of Phase 4, and it's like a little better. Yeah,
and Jonathan Majors is giving, and with the one who remains from Loki, who he who remains. He's basically like lost his mind, right?
Yeah.
He's just so exhausted. He's been alive for millions of years. Yeah. And he's just so tired that he's gone bananas and he's tired of it. And that reads, especially when you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Kang the Conqueror here, or the Exile, whichever one he actually is, he's serving remorse, he's serving sadness, he's serving complexity, but then the movie isn't contextualizing that enough. It's not showing me why or explaining it, nor is it making him...
Because it will down the line.
Because it will down the line, and that's kind of what I was talking about before. Which is
annoying.
But nor is it making him threatening. Like, if you're setting up your
They fucked his power level up. That's my complaint.
Fucked.
Because on one end, he was insanely powerful, like fucking ridiculous. But then on the other hand, he was like weak as shit. So they couldn't get it right. It was all over the place. He drops down and just vaporizes everyone.
Like, erases them from existence, apparently. But
erases
then just
timelines.
But then just chooses not to when the heroes are in the shot. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
and like, dude, he beat Ant-Man's ass in that fist fight, but he still lost. That really pissed me off.
Well, and
he would have fucking destroyed Scott to get out of the quantum realm, dude. He's been there so long. He wants out. Like, he would destroy him.
And he wouldn't have hesitated.
Yeah. He's talking about how he killed a bunch of Thors and shit.
Yeah.
He can't handle little Ant-Man.
Right, exactly. I'm like, bullshit. Like, no, you didn't. Because that's what the movie is showing me. Like, not only, like, he lets himself get killed in Loki, but he gets killed.
Yeah.
And so, like, our only introductions to Kang, the big scary badass of Phase 5, is him losing twice.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird play.
Well, he doesn't
and,
really lose the
maybe
first one.
Yeah, but he gets killed. And I know it's what he wanted, whatever, but, like...
He was that one retired.
He's retired. Yeah, he's done. He didn't care anymore. Sure, fine. Fair enough. But even just taking this one then...
Yeah.
And maybe he didn't die, whatever, even though the other Kangs, the cartoonish, laughable Kangs at the end, said he was dead, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's in the sub-quantum realm.
Yeah, I think he'll be back.
I think he'll be back too. Yeah. But it felt toothless. It felt weird. Yeah. Like, I was so ready to love...
I love him. I'm obsessed.
Kang and this movie and, like, everything about it. And I love how weird it is. And it felt like it was trying for something.
Yeah.
But the problem was there weren't any characters to latch onto. Even the characters and the strengths of those characters.
Yeah, like the rebellion, like Gentora and stuff. I was just like,
And like Chidi, like they wasted him.
Yeah.
Wasted him.
Yeah.
And like cool goo guy was really
of, like,
funny.
Stop thinking that.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, the goo creature. I've got holes.
My favorite moment of the entire movie was when the goo creature was like, how many holes do you have? Yeah. And then Chidi was like, he has 7. And then he just sits there.
Everyone in the theater was doing it.
Yeah,
I was too. I was like, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
He's right. It's like, unless you count your eyes.
Phenomenal joke.
It was so good.
Great joke.
And the pause was so long.
It was perfect.
It was so good. That part was good.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hate this movie.
For sure.
Obviously. Yeah. And like, or maybe not obviously. I'm worried.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the like
the MCU stakes.
And like in my screening, at the end, right, the mid-credit stinger.
Yeah.
People laughed. Like the three Kangs and then the stadium full of Kangs.
Yeah.
People were laughing.
It was slightly cheesy, I'd say.
Yeah, and like that's probably not the tone they were going for. That's probably not what people want.
Yeah.
Or what Marvel wants, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they keep saying, "Oh, I'm the smartest guy in in any universe. Mm-hmm. Every me is so smart and so intimidating." And it's like, I'm so dangerous.
He will be.
Show us, though. But show us. They've done nothing but tell us.
Like, he lost to Ant-Man. Like,
and he lost to Ant-Man.
What
like,
a chump.
Who loses to Ant-Man? Ant-Man wins by accident.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, Wasp did help. They helped each other. They 2-on-1, but still.
Well, that's the whole point of
Kang.
Ant-Man is like family, right? It's like Fast and Furious.
It just reminds me of like my gripe with Hawkeye, and it's like when Kate Bishop took on Kingpin, and it's like every time now these heroes, it's just the same formula, you know? Yeah. It when you had one or two movies every year or so, that formula, you're on cooldown and it refreshes and it's cool, it's fine, okay? But then when it's like the same formula every single time, like rewatching Phase 4 in a short amount of time, we already know this, but it is the same fucking thing over and over.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big final battle, hero wins, and it's like maybe they should have had Ant-Man, like, lose, I don't know,
dude,
to really mix it up.
That, like, I expected something tragic in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's the beginning of Phase 5.
And Kang is here.
And Kang is here.
Raise the stakes.
I thought they would lose.
Yeah.
And they probably should have.
Yeah.
Like, Kang probably should have just got out. But the problem with the MCU format is that it's too early for him to get out.
Yep.
So he can't.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, all right.
Yeah.
But when Kang, came out and was like, finally like, oh, okay, I'll do it myself. Because all of his like goons couldn't do it. And he was just vaporizing everybody. Then all the heroes, the entire Ant family,
just vaporize them.
Is standing right there.
Just vaporize them.
His vaporizers didn't stop working.
Yeah.
He just didn't do it. I honestly thought for a second.
Oh
like,
wait, is
he
it
would
because
just
he wanted
vaporize all of them.
he still needed the like
the
multiverse core, the multiverse core, because then he was
it was up in his office at that point. I thought.
That point, yeah.
I don't think there's a single reason he couldn't have vaporized them, unless I'm forgetting. I mean, I saw this movie on release day.
Yeah,
so.
it's been a while.
But like,
should have vaporized them.
They should have vaporized them, and like. I loved the ant army. I loved that
was cool.
I loved that they had 1,000 years of time and they just became super smart.
That was a cool
But at the same time, it's Deus Ex Ant Machina because it's like, or Antus Ex Machina, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like it's just briefly mentioned up top, and then like he gets the thing, the messages, and then all of a sudden it's the army of ants that just solves everything. So it's like. Kang, big scary Kang, is defeated by not only Ant-Man, but a bunch of ants. And I mean, I love ants. I really do. They're great. But like,
I thought
set that up better? I don't know.
I thought that worked well because Kang's superpower is technology. So the fact that those ants were technologically advanced to like even it out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I guess I'll buy it.
But like
I'll buy that one.
Everything in the movie felt like it just needed to cook more. Like it needed more thought. It needed more finesse.
Yeah.
Like the ant thing, like the technology v technology thing, like that's a perfect, you're totally right. And if they had even just said that a little clearer, like he said, like they're a class 2 society or whatever. I'm like, okay, is that us? Is that better than us? Like, what is that? Like, what's Kang? Because they said he's got centuries ahead of us technology.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, 1,000 years is 10 centuries. Like, are the ants on par? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, it was just, the murkiness didn't help it in this case,
Yeah.
But like, it just, that's the thing that's frustrating about this one is it feels like it was so close.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like it should have been a 2.5 hour epic.
Yeah.
Lean in more into the trauma and the relationship with his daughter. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I read that an earlier draft had them getting stuck in the quantum realm at the end, but the writer was like,
"Oh shit,
we've done that before," and like the first part of the next Avengers would just have to be them getting back out again, and he was like, "That's just not interesting."
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I thought that one or both of them would just die.
Yeah.
But like Ant-Man, Paul Rudd is like the biggest remaining Avenger.
Yeah.
Ironically, for a shrinky boy.
Yeah. Him and like Thor.
Yeah.
And Banner.
Bruce Banner, him and Thor, I guess, are like the biggest stars left, kind of.
Yeah.
Even though I like Don Cheadle, but I'm not like interested in War Machine necessarily, or Falcon. Captain America Falcon is like cool conceptually, even though I didn't think the show was very good. But like,
I rewatched it, and like, dude, binging these is so much better.
Well,
honestly.
rewatching Marvel at all because the stakes are gone.
Yeah.
Like I anticipate watching this movie again in a year or two and being like, yeah, it was cool.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
MODOK made an appearance here.
Lord.
MODOK, you want to talk about giggles in the theater?
Laughter in the theater. Yeah. Oh man. That VFX.
I like the origin of MODOK in this, that it was Darren Cross.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. Especially tying it to Kang, because Kang is technological and Darren Cross is a scientist. Like all that shit. I thought that was really, really cool. But once again, the volume, the Marvel VFX just knock the entire they knock the entire movie down a point, like a full letter grade. Because of how sloppy the effects are. Back in the day, they used to be awesome. They used to be great. Like Iron Man 1, dude, fucking Stan Winston shit. Like
still looks good,
insane. And like when that's a positive, it's like you play an okay video game that's like way technologically advanced, or like some people say that about Avatar, like, oh, the tech is so incredible, it makes the whole thing worth it. It's like, having the tech bad going in is just like not a good place to be, because then everything else needs to like raise that up.
Yeah.
Because Marvel movies are that formula. There's going to be big battle scenes. There's going to be cinematic, like CG shit everywhere.
Yeah.
So if like a third of your movie is that and it looks bad,
right?
What are we doing here?
It was perplexing because it's like the gamma felt off on him. His face looks stretched and weird,
so weird,
and like
he looks weird. Normally it's MODOK.
Like MODOK is supposed to be a weird freakazoid, but like
you can look good weird.
But like, think of how much better it would have looked. Like I think of like fucking BBC Doctor Who stuff, like the face of Bo or whatever. Like they've done, or like that lady who's just stretched out human skin on a wall. Like it looks crazy and gnarly, but it's meant to, and it's a practical puppet effect.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine how cool it would have been if they had just had the actor in crazy prosthetics, filmed it, and then like composited that into the MODOK suit?
Yeah.
Like, it might have looked a little janky because like the compositing, but it would have looked better than this. Like, I don't know.
They're just on that, like they're just on that fast food machine, dude. They're just on that like factory. Just crank these out, you know. I mean, like, and we're feeling it because they confirmed VFX artists came out and were like, all the money went to Black Panther. Did you hear that one?
Oh,
VFX artists came out and they said Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was their priority one. It got all the time and all the money,
which is so funny.
We got the leftovers.
That movie was, I mean, obviously that movie was just kind of wrecked by Chadwick Boseman's
of course.
death.
Dark Knight Rises situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what can you
and
do?
Like, you felt that absence the whole time. Like, that wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily like
Angela Bassett,
anything.
10 out of 10.
Oh, she was incredible.
yeah.
But it just kind of wasn't, I don't know. I mean, when Lupita Nyong'o turned around, I gasped literally. I actually in the theater gasped because she is so beautiful and so cool. And like when she turns around in that school in that movie, I honestly, for real, I was like, like in the theater, I gasped. And like, she should have been Black Panther, but whatever.
She's so awesome.
She should, but it made more sense. It would have made more sense if she was Black Panther. Whatever.
But yeah, the VFX problem.
The VFX didn't look bad in that movie, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a big problem for these movies because they're blockbusters. You need your effects to be good. Like, think about the best in the biz. You know, think about a Nolan movie. Think about Villeneuve. Like, top tier effects.
You know what
make your epic blockbuster better.
You know what I'm thinking of, weirdly, for this movie? Total Recall. Original.
The original.
Original. Like, think about face in the
Kraglin or whatever.
Yeah. Kryler? What's his name?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if MODOK had looked like that, that would have been awesome.
Yes.
Like, bulgy eye face. It looks silly as hell, but it's like, I don't know. There's like a physicality to it.
They're obsessed with, I'll just do it in post.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just do it in post.
Well, and now they're doing it in pre and then shooting it on the volume.
Yeah.
And it's just like, which you can also still tweak in post, obviously. But like, it didn't feel as on a stage as Boba Fett or Obi-Wan did, which I was thankful for because I was pretty worried about that. Like, having heard that a lot of this was shot on the volume, I was like, oh boy, here we go. It's just going to be like a stage play, which I love stage plays, but not in my MCU movies. And it wasn't that bad. But it's just such a bummer because I really feel like, because I like the Ant-Man movies quite a bit. Like, they're cozy and fun. And this didn't feel cozy or fun, which I get for setting up Kang as a threat. But at the same time, it kind of robbed it of its point to me. And like, also I was confused about the rules because like, when they just win by getting big, and then they get tired and need oranges again, like they usually do in the real world.
Does anybody have any orange slices?
Any orange slice, which is a great line. But like, I was really confused about the rules because even being big, quote unquote, in the quantum realm,
wouldn't you
still
go
like,
to another?
Well, no, but that, but also like, so the fact that they didn't get big enough to go up a realm,
because they're like infinitely on realms stacked on top of each other, right?
Which makes the rules confusing because like
fast and loose.
To escape the quantum realm, they can't just get big, obviously, because they have to use these portals. So there's something else happening where because they get sucked in through the portal, and I'm sure people who know the comics better than I do, like, have this answer, but like the
but
rules
the
have
MCU
shifted.
has to explain it at least.
True,
you can't
true,
just be like,
yeah.
oh, it's in the comics,
But
because
like
it's so different.
The rules have shifted somehow where like because they got sucked into the quantum realm, their like baseline has reset to being this quantum level size.
Yeah.
So if that's the rule, then yeah, getting big, quote unquote, like 100 feet tall, whatever, relative to your quantum size would still make you tired.
Yeah.
But during the movie, I was like, okay, so you're like a micron tall right now.
Yeah.
And you're getting tired the way you get when you're 80 feet tall? Like,
oh my God, great point.
I'm like,
that's a great point.
Because I was just like, what are the limits?
Really good point.
Because
he would still be tiny as shit. He's microscopic.
Beyond microscopic.
Yeah.
He's like the size of 4 quarks stacked on top of each other instead of 1.
That's a great point.
And so like the only way it makes any sense is if their baseline is reset to being the size of 1 quark.
Yeah.
Because also they on and off their suits and they like shrink and get big and always reset. Like when they do the shrink punch, they reset to normal human size relative to the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So that has to be baseline reset to that, which makes everything else make sense. But at the same time, it's just really confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe no one else was thinking about that.
I like it.
But I was like, why are you getting hungry? You're only like... I can't even make my fingers close enough.
Couple last things I want to talk about real quick. One, Bill Murray, so random and out of place.
Yeah, just like did not
get out.
Yeah, I saw an article that said she should have hooked up with Kang, and I think that would have been way more interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if he was her ex, that would be so much better.
Yeah, I for a second I was like, were they together for a little bit? Like, were they? Weren't they? I think it's still debatable, but like
maybe.
Yeah. Should have been.
Because like for how
Bill Murray was so random.
So random. But also just for how scared of Kang she was.
Yeah.
He wasn't scary enough. Like he got there, he got close to it when he was like freezing Scott and Cassie in their jail cells and like when he threw MODOK against the wall and was like, don't speak when I'm in the room.
And when he's basically like, I'll kill her if you don't do what I want you to do.
Like, I think it would have been more powerful if they had done that.
Yeah.
And then he rewound it and said, you want to keep doing that forever?
Yeah.
And like she like kind of remembers it. Like if he can control time and do all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
But he's just saying it.
Yeah.
Like freezing people in place and having scary lasers is like cool and but that's not 5th phase level villain.
Yeah.
You know?
That's basically what I want to talk about is going forward now, where do like what are your thoughts? We've touched on it throughout, but like condense it now. Like what are your thoughts moving forward on Ant-Man, Scott Lang, and Kang?
Yeah.
Going forward in the MCU, are you excited, nervous about them? Because like Ant-Man comes out and he's like, did we kill him?
That part I liked when he was just like,
is it over?
When he was like, was that the right thing?
Yeah, I liked that. Yeah.
I liked that ambiguity, and I kind of wish that they'd leaned more into that and like given us more reason to question it.
Yeah.
And the mid credits kind of does that. The post credits, the end post credits with Loki.
Yeah.
And Morbius,
which I heard is just a scene from.
It's just a scene from the show, but like that makes me excited. I liked Loki.
I love Loki.
And I'm excited for season 2, and like that's confirmation that it's going to be dealing with
Kang,
which in his various versions.
Awesome.
Victor Timely, I think, is that guy, that version's name or something, but or something Timely.
Yep.
That's exciting, and I think like what?
No, you're right.
Oh,
yeah. I know some stuff from the comics for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like I'm excited to see that. I hope that. Like I was a little disappointed that the other versions of Kang that they showed in the mid credits were like caricatures.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, why is this guy Egyptian and why is this guy?
Oh, dude.
Like
Rama Tut, dude.
No, I know,
Yeah.
and I know that, but I'm like
the Moon Knight. What is the Moon Knight nod too? In Moon Knight, there's a enemy of Moon Knight, and on his jacket, it's that headdress.
Is that guy? Yeah.
So sick.
So it's just like
they've been little teases.
They're little teases, but at the same time, it left me a little confused in the moment because I was like, okay, but you're just like a completely different like national origin now. Like you grew up in Egypt or what? Like why are you dressing like that?
He went back in time to rule.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Didn't he get stuck there or something?
No, he just
did
went
it?
back and wanted to rule.
Okay.
Egypt. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, that's less dumb then.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess your voice would change your accent would change, or you would have to change it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty hype. It's
I mean,
pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
what
excited.
What did you think of?
I am very ready to be
invested
and thrilled and jazzed about Kang.
Did you like Kang's motivation in this movie?
Just get the MacGuffin back?
Basically, yeah, and like
no,
because he kept teasing like I'm a victim of time, like.
Well, but that's part of the problem, right? Is like her touching.
He didn't explain it enough.
Her touching the ship and seeing like all the atrocities he's done, quote unquote. Like, I'm like, okay, cool, but like, why did he do that?
Yeah.
Why will he do that again?
Yeah.
What like they keep just like dancing around it.
Yeah.
And not specific. Like Thanos had a very clear explanation.
Well, it took a while to get to that explanation.
But they foreshadowed it several times because I just rewatched Infinity War. Like every time they talk about his devastation of a planet, they say no. But in that movie, they always say, he killed half of my planet. They always say he killed half of blank. He killed half of this.
But Phase 1 and 2 never hinted at Thanos trying to wipe out.
he turned toward the camera and...
But never his motivation.
Well, right. But that goes back to my very first point where it was like they weren't so concerned about setting up Thanos. Yeah. Like this is as though they set up Thanos in Iron Man.
Yeah, yeah.
So which would have robbed Iron Man of being an Iron Man movie.
Yes.
Because this is not an Ant-Man movie. This is a Kang movie.
You're so right. Yeah.
And like... So, like, if you're going to do that, do that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it being a Kang movie. You just have to actually say what's, like, show me. Actually, like, show us in a slower montage what Janet saw.
Because their
Why
dynamic...
is she so scared?
Their dynamic was, I felt like, could have been really legendary, dude. Yeah. They, like... Give me like 20 more minutes of that, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I'd sit in the theater for 20 more minutes if it was more of them together. And like, they just skipped over that so fast. And like you said, just like, okay, wiping out timelines, cool.
Right.
Why?
I
want to escape time. Like
you're fighting other versions of yourself.
Yeah. Like, and I know in the like comic stuff and like basically like time is his enemy.
Yeah. But it like...
And like he did kind of say that, but it's like we're watching this. We don't know that.
But also, like, time is all of our enemy.
Yeah.
Like, everybody hates time.
Yeah.
None of us want to die.
Yeah.
But it's also confusing because he seems to have already conquered time because he's ageless.
Yeah.
And,
travel anywhere.
He can go anywhere he wants, when he wants. It's like, okay, so what else do you want?
Yeah.
Like, what are you working toward?
Yeah.
Because in this, he just wants to escape. But to do what? I don't know.
Maybe to get, like, vengeance on all the other ones?
I guess. Or to kill them all, to prevent them all.
Could he become, like, the good guy?
Well, that's what some people are...
Uneasy Alliance?
Some people are thinking that this Kang is actually...
the good one?
Yeah. Because he says in this, like, much worse is coming.
Yeah.
I need to get out there to save everyone. Like,
yeah.
That's what he says. And maybe he's telling the truth. Like, maybe... Yeah. In the Kang Dynasty or the end of whatever, the Avengers Kang Dynasty, maybe they're going to have to go and find this version to stop the other ones. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But, like, that's the sticky wicket with multiversal stuff is where it's just, like, it kind of can rob it of stakes if you're not careful.
That's what I was saying from the jump.
Yeah.
I don't like multiverses. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because it is lower stakes.
I love it when it's, like, you're dealing with one or two, like Fringe style.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, these are the two.
There's this and the alt reality.
Right. Yeah. There's Biff's 1985 and real 1985.
Exactly.
Like that stuff is, and I love the idea of multiple parallel universes. I love it. But narratively, it's just hard to do.
Absolutely.
But I really want to love it.
I'm surprised you don't like Kang. Like, you have really good points for why you don't like Kang. I think I'm just obsessed with Jonathan Majors speaking. Like, every word he says, I'm just like...
It's so funny. Like, it seems his performance seems really divisive. Because it's like, I don't think he's a bad actor.
Yeah.
I just think, like, there's a dissonance with his performance with everyone else's performance and with with the story, with what they're showing me. Because like how he's playing it isn't matching what I'm being shown.
Yeah.
And what people are saying isn't matching what he's doing and what I'm being shown.
Totally.
And like, also sometimes he just says words weird, and I'm just like, why'd you say it like that? And, but I think like, it's a bummer because he's doing what he's doing very well. I'm just feeling like it's grinding. It's like not matching up.
Yeah.
But I can see them him and the directors wanting to have him have this like otherworldly kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Which I think they're achieving. So that's what I'm saying is like I am fully ready to be all in and on board. They just
hopefully
need to
hopefully there's a moment in a later movie where like everything clicks.
Yeah.
And then it retroactively makes it all better and worse.
Well, because that's how it feels with Loki.
Yeah.
Even though these two versions were like kind of similar, it was a hard thing to pull off and a big gamble to have the first introduction of Kang be a crazy person, like to be the crazy one.
Yeah.
And like,
oh, I love him.
To have him play it
hypocrite,
like kind of unhinged like that, like, and that's our first time seeing him.
Yeah.
Is an interesting gamble, you know? And that, I think you're totally right. It's paying off retroactively because now we can compare it to other things and be like, okay, yeah, that guy was nuts.
Yeah.
But he had a point.
Yeah.
This guy is pissed.
Yeah.
But he has a point.
Yeah.
And so like, in the future, when we can be like, okay, these are the scary ones. Totally. And I'm really hoping for that.
Yeah.
Because if they're the scary ones, and if this Kang was maybe that's why he wasn't such a threat, was because he was holding back.
Yeah.
Because that's the only...
That's the thing, the power... It's like, okay, you're going to vaporize these people, but you're going to hold back against Ant-Man?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is like, I could believe him doing that on purpose because...
He's seen a lot.
Well, and he kind of promised Janet and Scott that he wouldn't kill Cassie and like that. I think he still likes
He's
Janet.
got a little bit of heart in there.
Yeah, and I think like that's the only thing that makes any sense is if this Kang could have done all of this and could have wiped them all out and could have gotten out, but he was holding back for just that little shred of honor he had left.
Yeah.
Because that's what I liked about him is that he didn't seem completely dishonorable.
Evil, psychotic.
Yeah, he's not psychotic.
Even though he did go back on his deal with Ant-Man. Ant-Man got the thing and he was like, too bad. Well, because he was going to let Cassie go.
But Ant-Man didn't bring him the thing. Like Ant-Man kept saying we had a deal and it's like, well, you didn't exactly like deliver the thing.
I like that scene with all the Ant-Mans.
That was fun.
That was sick. That was cool. That was really cool.
That's the
thing, volume actually looked good on that.
Yeah, it looked good on that. Yeah.
I was like, hey, where'd you go, volume?
It's not a terrible movie.
What did you think of the "Don't be a dick" joke?
I thought, like everything else, it was just a little undercooked. Like,
just don't be a dick, MODOK. I kind of liked it.
I liked it, but like,
because I think that about society.
Yeah,
it was a commentary on society.
Yeah,
just don't be a dick.
Yeah, which I liked. I liked that.
Yeah,
but I thought her PTSD from him. I loved the concept of that.
Yeah,
I didn't really see it. I didn't really see it bear fruit.
Yeah,
you know,
that undercooked.
And it's just kind of a funky thing, and there are a lot of characters and a lot of moving parts, and this movie had to achieve a lot of stuff. And so, as a result of that, gave everything less time and attention and screen, like, showing instead of telling than I think it should have. And the result of that is that nothing hit home completely. Like, every part of the movie got 65% of the way there.
Yeah.
And so that's why the movie is getting a 32 or whatever.
Yeah. That's why I'm just like, it was good.
Yeah.
Because so much of it was
Yeah. And like, I love the MCU. I love Marvel movies. Like, I'm in.
Guardians next, and then Secret Invasion. Probably no Kang in either of those.
I thought Secret Invasion was... Oh, no, that's Skrull?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's probably no Kang. I like that there's two main plot lines going on in the MCU right now. You have the Valentina Day, Cortessa of the day, whatever, with all the Thunderbolts and like the espionage spy shit, Skrulls, shield, sword, and then you have Kang.
And it's
Not even like Wanda as the wild card, which will obviously come and save the day against Kang. We all know.
Well,
spoilers. We
who's
know.
to say? Because like but like, do we? Because the power levels are so bananas. Like, Doctor Strange 2 was one of the more disappointing ones, just because they did my girl dirty. Like, they negated everything, all of her growth and all of her progress from WandaVision, just made her bad. Also made her weak. Like, because we've been told that she's the most powerful entity.
I mean, she
besides
takes out the Illuminati. That's pretty
right,
strong.
but like, she doesn't take out Kamar-Taj. She doesn't use her mind control powers.
So many people there.
Right, but she doesn't have to
she kills like 50 people, Isla.
Right, but
that is a lot of kills.
No, right, but like. But like, her power level is so high that it shouldn't have even been a problem.
She takes out the Sorcerer Supreme and Doctor Strange and all of them.
She doesn't kill either of those.
But she wins that fight.
Right, but
she kills like 50 people.
But shouldn't she have just been able to go like, and like that force field is gone and all of the little students are gone and like, you know?
Pretty much does.
I mean, kind of. And I know you have to, that's my point. Yeah. Like, I know you have to show.
And then doesn't she say this is me being reasonable?
And yeah, she says she's being
still
reasonable.
Holding back.
She's holding back. So like, I just think like, there's a power level issue in the MCU.
Always power level issue. Yeah. Always. How is Kate Bishop fighting Kingpin?
Yeah.
Watch season 2 of Daredevil when Kingpin goes against Frank Castle and still beats his ass. And fucking like Hawkeye versus Kingpin? Come on.
Well, I mean, like that's the whole thing is like Hawkeye, Yelena.
Yeah, humans.
They're all just humans.
Yeah.
They're just humans. Yeah. How are they hanging with any of this stuff?
Whoever the writer wants to win.
Yeah.
Will win.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
you just accept
of course,
it.
And that's fine, and I love it. But it's just kind of like
Ant-Man taking out Kang. Come on, Ant-Man.
Well, but he's just a human.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both just humans.
Yeah.
With tech.
Yeah. All right, MCU Phase 5.
Were we too negative?
Slightly
were we too
rocky start. No, this movie's so
Everyone
divisive.
Hates it, I guess.
I
didn't hate it.
We like it, but we like that's the thing.
Mommy's not mad. She's just disappointed.
That's the thing. It is okay to just accept the MCU for what it is.
Yes.
It's big, dumb fun, cool,
yes.
but also not blindly.
Yeah.
Because this is a $1 billion corporation, a $1 billion machine.
Yeah.
We should hold it to a higher standard. So it's all about being in that middle ground where it's like, hold it accountable.
Yeah.
But also, it's the MCU. Enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
But hold it accountable. Call it out when it is not great.
To me, like, the lesson I hope that Marvel takes from this movie and its reviews and its poor performance is to rush less.
Yeah.
Pay your VFX team what they deserve.
They delayed the Marvels to November.
Yes, which is great.
So smart.
Like, that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
And like, also maybe do another script pass, like, or something, like, take more time.
Yeah.
You know, if we're getting 3 or whatever these a year, maybe give us 2.
Maybe give us 2.
Maybe give us 1.
Yeah,
like,
honestly.
You know? I don't know.
Honestly. I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I think...
Because, like, it's the same issue as crunch, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't
They're
abuse
crunched.
your staff.
They're
Don't abuse the
super
VFX.
crunched.
Yeah. And it's like... Because it's honestly, I don't think it's their fault.
It's not. The VFX people? It's not. You can only do what you can do with the time and the money given to you for that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and like,
there's a reason Avatar 2 took over a decade.
Yeah, it took 12 years.
Yeah.
They spent like 4 years. They spent longer than this movie had in entirety before they started shooting officially.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That says something.
Yeah.
And like, hopefully they share their magical like water tech and stuff with other people because like, good Lord, it looks good.
Yeah.
But that's the MCU for you. You gotta just...
I want Guardians 3 to just be a Guardians movie.
So many people are gonna die.
Please just be like... the only knowledge I want going into Guardians is like Guardians 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, please. And like maybe a little Thor connection, whatever. Like, Thor doesn't need to be in it, but like, please just make it... like the end of the Guardians trilogy, you know? I don't want it to be bogged down by all this other BS.
Well, and what's weird is the connective stuff is almost diminishing returns because we were talking about this the other day where It almost feels more satisfying when the connective threads are fewer and farther between and feel more like Easter eggs or like stingers at the end, right? Where, because most importantly, it means that the movie has to stand on its own 2 feet and be a good story, which is the most important thing. And equal to that, the characters have to stand on their own feet and be good and interesting. Like, that's part and parcel. That's the same thing. But like, it also, if they're more subtle, it rewards the diehards, the true, but then you can have the more overt connective stuff as like a treat or a late, act 2 kind of like interesting little side, like, well, what was that about,
Yeah.
But it's not the whole movie.
Totally.
Whereas this is just the whole movie was,
because
it felt like a prologue to a whole other thing that we're not even getting for another 2 years.
Because when you combine the diminishing returns on the connections with lackluster effects, I mean,
and no
that's
character,
like your bread and butter, Marvel. Like, your whole thing was built on like, we have the cutting edge techs.
Yeah.
It all connects. And both of those things have been severely lacking since Endgame.
Yeah.
The connections are fine, but they're not magical and special like they used to be. They're expected,
Yeah.
It's not
well, they feel like they've superseded the stories of individual movies.
Yeah.
Like,
how is it going to connect is the only thing we care about.
Or it fully just is the story of whole movies.
Exactly.
Like, at least Doctor Strange 2 had like his kind of central lesson of forgiving himself and confronting his fear.
Yeah, I loved them together.
Yeah, that was great. And this movie tried that with father-daughter. Didn't, I think, get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, good heavens.
Like, Ant-Man is reviewing way worse, but I think I liked Quantumania.
This is a better
more.
movie than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, I did think that, what's his name? The God Killer. Christian Bale's God Killer or whatever.
Always incredible.
Super cool
the
villain.
Best.
And like the way
Christian
he
Bale's the
fought,
best.
just like dipping in and out of shadow, like inky, weird powers. I loved that. So visually, like almost black and white, like super cool.
That shit's sick.
That stuff was awesome. But then just like cramming the Mighty Hulk storyline in with her dying and like
Mighty Thor.
What did I say?
Mighty Hulk.
Mighty Thor, sorry. Cramming that in there with the kind of tone, it was just such a weird mishmash. And it felt like 8 different things trying to exist at the same time.
It totally did.
God, it could have been so cool.
I know.
I definitely think that movie was more disjointed than this one.
Yeah. I think I liked Ant-Man Quantumania more than Thor: Love and Thunder. You can take that to the bank.
I think so too.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. That's the thing is like,
I didn't hate either. That's the thing is I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I forgot about it immediately.
Yeah.
So,
like you mentioning it, I was like, oh, that's like the first time I've thought about that movie. Even while watching it.
Yeah. All right, that was the spoiler mode for Ant-Man, and just kind of a pulse check.
MCU check-in.
Beginning of Phase 5. Phase 6 on paper looks.
Is that Blade? Is that where Blade
is supposed to be the end of 5. Maybe it got pushed into 6. I think Blade is the final of Phase 5. Phase 6 is fucking Deadpool 3.
Oh.
Fantastic Four.
Oh.
Both Avengers movies.
That's Phase 6?
Yes.
Wait, Kang Dynasty 1 is in 6?
Yes. And Secret Invasion. No. Secret War.
Secret War is Kang.
Yeah.
Because that's Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and then Secret War.
Yeah.
That's like 1 and 2. That's like Infinity War Endgame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic Four in there, dude.
Good Lord.
Deadpool
what the
3.
Hell?
Fucking Hugh Jackman, dude.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman. Cool. Wolverine. MCU. It gets me jacked.
I mean,
it gets me Jackman.
We're all Jackman.
Yes.
But like,
sign me up.
The X-Men stuff.
Get Magneto
getting
in
there is really exciting.
Like, dude, can you imagine the full X-Men assemble against Kang? Like, I want to see that shit.
It's weird though. I wonder if X-Men will only exist in a different universe, like the one where Professor X was in the Illuminati. Like,
absolutely. What are they going to do?
What are they going to do?
Yeah, because
Because the Kang stuff, like, will they end that by folding all the universes together? Like, what's gonna? I don't know.
Will X-23 return from Logan, please?
That would be sick.
Yes.
Also, like, use the same actor because the amount of time that's gone by, you know, like, probably she'll be an adult by then.
Yeah.
Because she did a great job.
All the Spider-Men are on the table. Get Toby back. Get Andrew back.
Yeah.
All of it. All of it can be like the most insane thing of all time. Truly. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So there's still hype.
Get She-Hulk in. I liked She-Hulk.
There's still hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was cute.
All right. That was it. We're Easy Allies. If you like what you saw, share us.
Yeah.
Share it around.
If you didn't like what you saw, share us.
If you didn't like what you saw, just quietly close the tab.
Just close. Hit a like and then close the tab.
Yes.
Don't say anything mean in the comments.
All righty. We will see you next time for spoiler mode, whatever it may be, and we'll definitely be back here for Guardians 3.
Yeah, I mean,
James Gunn's finale before he goes and spearheads DC fully.
Yeah. You've got the final episode of Last of Us.
2 more now.
2 more, right? Individual episode spoiler modes, and then we're thinking we're probably going to do a whole Last of Us spoiler mode, so that'll probably be the next ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hype.
Cool.
Practical effects.
Yeah.
Get that bloater in there, dude. All right. Love and respect.
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode activated.